Hello. Hello, my army, my soldiers, my friends, my fellow patriots that I abandoned in their time of need. Um hello. You're probably wondering, General, where have you been all week? What has happened? I couldn't function in Globex without you and your guidance. Where have you been? Um well, long story short, it's been a week. Um, if you were watching any of my previous videos, you know that it's been a couple weeks actually. Last week I had a pretty rough start to the week, finished strong. Um, this week I kind of got fucked. Did not start off well. Um, this video is going to be a little bit different because it's actually going to be a combination of two different sessions. I didn't know what to do with them because at first I was like, okay, well, if I post these sessions, this literally helps nobody. It shows a trader that is just absolutely spiraling and blowing up and hitting daily drawdown limits and this and that. But then I was thinking, I was like, okay, well, on the other hand, maybe seeing a trader practically spiral down mid-session, I don't know, maybe that helps somebody. Also, it's kind of funny. So this video is going to be a combination of two sessions. It'll be a combination of October 19th and October 13th, I think. I'll have like the usual snippets and stuff, or maybe I'll probably separate them, or I'll do like a part one and a part two. But I'll have like the usual pre Globex breakdowns, post trades, or whatever I have. I don't know if I did a post trade on days that I fucking did terrible, but it's a little bit of a different video to say the least. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's kind of terrible. On top of all these massive days that were terrible, this week has been truly something. As I'm sure you traders know, big outage, AWS stuff Monday. Then it turned into an absolute drama fest across all the firms, and Project X and Top Step and all that jazz. And that was a whole other factor that has played into my last, I guess, few trading days. It's been quite the week. Luckily, I'm with an absolutely amazing firm that has arguably had the best solutions, best options for all the issues, and I'm kind of getting a mulligan. Won't lie, kind of cheesy. I'm definitely getting a little bit of a get out of jail free card with this week, but I take that. I'm gonna roll with it and hope for the best. But yeah, so you'll see the sessions where I just it is some of fundamentally the worst trading you'll probably ever watch. And yeah, I show my losers though. I definitely show my losing days. But yeah, it'll probably be a part one, part two, so it's not like a 20 or 30-minute video or whatever. But yeah, I put up the chart because I was gonna run through and just like kind of show the executions. But I think I'll just let the video play out. I will say, dude, Sunday sucked. I got stopped out like 5 points from the bottom of the session, and I would have just fucking, hit the sky. But anyways, yeah, funny watch. Comment down below if comment blow up if you made it this far into the video. Good afternoon, my soldiers, my army, my marksmen, my snipers, my everything. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Great Friday close. It's a little messy, but Hope it worked out for everybody. Gonna get right into it. Got about an hour till Globix, but I figure I'd bust out my pre-war breakdown for this evening, this afternoon, whatever. Go ahead and clear everything. All right. First things first. Let's take a gander at what we got here. Oy vey. Not working with a lot. All right. I don't like how oversold we are on the RSI here. Not a fan. We're really fucking up there. I think we'll get some pullback this week on it. I mean, there's no way that we don't, realistically, because we went fucking straight up all week. But I hope we don't tap this and reject it immediately, dude. Honestly, last week fucking sucked, but it had a lot of opportunities. It was just highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows. This low key might be the play. This Globex. Hope that we get a bullish open and then kind of play the bounce off of it. I might be able to get an entry pretty early. Just take my 12 points or whatever. I like that. Yeah, that wick down, these candles bouncing. 78 looks nice. If I wanted to be greedy, 42 also looks nice. What would be a good way to stand this out? If I get a fill in that one, I'll probably play a way tighter stop. But last 15-minute pullback was... This isn't really a support. I don't know. I may just do it with lunch. I don't think I need anything smaller than that. We're pretty much crossover on everything big, right? Yeah. Yep, that's what I'm gonna ball with. I'll probably set buys for these two and see where we fall. I'm definitely. I think I'm gonna probably end up recreating what I did last session, and I'm gonna end up just getting a fill or getting a buy and playing my uptrend towards this resistance and getting my take profit. Um, that's what I'm hoping for, anyways. That would be nice. Um, but all right, I'll see you guys in an hour, or give or take 40 minutes. This first session of trading that I am showing is going to be the most recent one. So this would be Monday, Monday the 19th. Uh, as I'm sure you saw in that session Monday, not my finest work. Not my finest work by any means. There, if you actually look and watch the video, there is so much to break down that is like fundamentally just wrong. Um, I mean, I can kind of psychoanalyze in the trades themselves. I mean, you can look at them purely off executions. First things first, you'll notice one thing right off the bat. Every single trade is for minis. Now, this hasn't been an issue before. If you've watched my trades, my videos, whatever, I've always done four minis, right? That's not like anything too crazy. Uh, when it works, it works. Absolutely, and sure, it's worked for an extended period for me. But when it doesn't work, holy cow, does it not work? If you don't have proper DLLs or proper risk management, it could very quickly get out of hand, as you guys saw in that video. I mean, shit. The start of the video, right? We opened up. We're above levels where I would buy. Like I have nothing. I have nothing charted up here. I have these couple levels down here, or actually, sorry, these might be old. I'd have to look through the video. But I had levels charted, and I know there was nothing up here. I know for a fact there was nothing up here. I do know the original idea of the trade was I wanted to play kind of a long move, pushing towards that 1 hour resistance. Obviously, I would get my take profit before the 1 hour, but that was the original idea. Um, If I'm remembering correctly, I don't really want to have to deep dive and look through all my levels from that day, but I'm pretty sure I had levels down here or something like that, or something else. I know there was nothing up here. Um, and then we opened above everything, and we we wicked the 1 hour, which like in my head mentally I'm like, oh well, fuck, there goes that, I wanted that trade. um and we wicked it, and then I was like, oh, we're gonna keep ripping, huh? And then we started pulling down, and then we pulled down, and then I was like, boom, get me in there. Or no, 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 no. I bought open candle. I moved my limit up. That's what happened. We wicked up, and then we came back down, and I think I moved my limit from down like somewhere over here or something like that, and then all the way up. It was it was bad. Um, Trade started off, I think decently. Honestly, this is so many execution, it's hard to look at. And knowing how I trade, like a lot of these candles, I lose a trade and then I'm immediately back in another one. Which is, that's one thing too. I'll get to that. Um, I was in this trade. I think it was going green originally, and I got stopped out. Um, it was a pretty big stop out too, actually. My original buy was 78, and I got stopped out in the 50s. So boom, right there, I've already lost a grand. I think a grand was already realized, or something high, something like that. And then mentally, I'm like, oh shit, that that's a very bad start. And being the opening candle too, like starting off your week with an open like that, um, really gets you going mentally in not the right direction. um, so after I took this fat loss almost immediately, keep in mind I just needed like a some small days to take my payout. Um, and I'm over here going for home runs like usual. And yeah, so I took that L, re-enter a trade, and it was looking pretty good. Yeah, it like went back up to one of my original buy spots, I think. And then it all went downhill. So like this trade, let's see, if I entered around, we went back in at 60, and it went back up to 78. So realistically, this trade was, I think it was up 1,000, or like somewhere around there. I'm not really good at quick math off the top of my head, but yeah, like this trade was up, and it was up, 10 points, 15 points. Should have sold, did not sell, because don't ask me why. I'm pretty sure I'm like coping here. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go retest. This was the normal open flag pullback. Whatever that you guys have seen in my other videos, and then we're gonna go retest. And then we don't. We shit the bed. So I get stopped out there. Let's see. I let this one run another 10 points. So boom, that's what, $900, 900, another realized almost grand. uh and what do I do here? Oh, I'm thinking, okay, we have, you know these four red candles. Surely we can't keep just going down. So what do? I'm over here, I'm slapping the bottom here, because I'm trying to, I think we did we bottom with Globix? No, Globix or the open didn't even go that deep. I think I was just like trying to match these candles. I'm like, okay, we're back down beneath open. Let's find a long here. Boom. What do? I slap 46. Now, this trade doesn't immediately go bad. It does go, well, actually, no, it does go bad pretty immediately. A couple candles. Well, no, actually, I'm sorry. I'm tripping. This was also a greed trade, pretty briefly. 46, back up to, well, we peaked at, what's the high there? 63. So this is almost another, I mean, shit, that was almost a 20-point trade, actually. I'm fucking smoking crack. Uh, like that's a green trade. That's a big trade right there. What do I do? If you guessing that I took profit, you were absolutely wrong. I did not take profit. And what happens to the trade? Cooked. Cooked. I think at this point we get down to this line here, and I think there's a level somewhere around here that I had charted out, and like we were hovering. I was like, okay, well I'm not gonna sell at a level that I have charted out. That wouldn't make sense because this would be where I would buy. So I held. Trade goes back green. We go back up to I guess the high here was 65. So again, this is a 18 point trade, which is an absolutely fucking amazing trade by any standards, right? Like most traders are going for minimum, like, 10-point trades when they're trading minis. That's a couple $100. That's some people's daily goals. And I'm over here slinging four cons. I'm up 18 points, so that's 1500, 1600, 1700, something like that. And I'm not selling. Why? Because greed. Simply put, all these trades boils down to greed. I'm looking for an entry where I can take, and at this point I'm already down like 2 grand. So mentally at this point I'm tilted, and I'm looking for trades that are gonna make me back everything I've lost and then some. And you can even see it in the video. I'm over here setting these take profits that are 50, 60 points, above, and I'm holding four minis. That doesn't work. You can't hold four minis and get home run hits like that. It just doesn't work. Now, without pulling back to the point that realistically you're going to hit a stop loss or you're going to hit something, right? Um, and it's just like a showcase, a highlight of greed right here. I'm up. I can almost realize all my losses right here. What do I do? Don't sell. Keeps dropping. Let me switch to the 1 minute. This might be a little bit easier to look at. Whoops. Whoops. Wrong button. Okay. 1 minute would definitely be a little bit easier to look at. Okay. It's 21st. This is 21st? No. Whoops. Okay. That is a little bit easier. So, where did I let this stop hit? I'm in at 46. Yeah, like right here. This trade was up almost 20 points. I sell it for a slight profit here at 48. This trade was up almost fucking 2 grand, and I'm walking away with $200, if that. I don't think that's quite 200. Um, like what the fuck? That is just so dumb. There was no reason for that. Just no reason at all. And I did the exact same thing here. I'm over here mentally. I'm like, I see this setup, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna get some pullback, surely. So what do? I slap 47. Now, you'll notice 47, General, what are you doing? That's the same entry you took over here. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I longed over here, up 20 points, take it for a slight profit, and what do? I long the exact same target, and we're clearly in a downtrend, right? We're already forming a downtrend. RSI is already going down to levels that aren't bullish by any means. Um, so this was just dumb. Not only was it an impulsive buy, but there's nothing here. There's nothing supporting it. Um, and then what happens? I immediately the trade also look at that, it goes up. I'm up. Okay, not a whole lot, 5 points, whatever. That's not, for four minis though. That's like $400, $500. It would be a good scalp, especially if you're down. And then what? The very next candle, the high of this next candle, yeah, 40. Okay, so that was 53. Okay, so they kind of peak the same. But I'm still green here. I'm up a few $100, and then I just get, you know, candled out of my position, and I don't think I had a stop loss. I'm already tilted at this point. I'm like manually watching my trades, market buys, market sells, of course. I'm not doing limits at this point. Why would I? That's silly risk management tools. So yeah, I get cooked here. I take another loss. I enter at 47, exit at 42. So boom, that's another 400, 500 or something like that. And I do it again. Like this is a like crazy crash course on trader psychology, because what the fuck am I seeing here? There's absolutely nothing here other than the fact that it's one, you know, noticeable red candle in a sea of red during Globex. So like I'm just fully revenge trading. This is, all these other trades were revenge trading, but this one is, there's not anything here. um, it's just egregious, absolutely egregious. Or no, was this the one where I went short? I actually might have won here. Hold up, let me think. I went short somewhere along here and won. Here, okay. No, no, no. This was a long. No, I got cooked here. Um, I also got cooked here. Honestly, this is a mess. Hold up. So, this is too much brain power. See, this is so much harder to even look at when I'm slapping the same fucking candle. Um, like what the fuck? I think I got stopped out. I got stopped out and I went short. So I took an L and then I went short. And then I secured my short for barely fucking 3 points. For barely 3 points. So, like, okay, I don't even make back the full loss on this trade. And I make, like, what the fuck is happening? I slap again. What do I see here? Absolutely nothing. I see one little one green candle fighting against the trend. I slap here for 38. I slap here for 38, and it goes up 7 points. So this is $400, $500 trade. I keep in mind I'm down 2 grand. So like a $500 trade, if that's bringing me back, fucking 25% of my losses, why am I not taking that? It makes no sense. Um, and look what happens. Hold it. Boom. Get shit on. Goes back to I guess this was no, it wasn't even break even. I lose here. I lose a few points. So boom, down another couple 200 or yeah, another couple $100. And at this point, I don't even know. No, I tried to long again. Yeah, I tried to long here. Cause I genuinely couldn't tell you what I would be seeing here, because looking on this on a completely different day, this is literally screaming downtrend. The RSI is cooked. Every little hump goes right back down, and it's slowly creeping its way towards oversold territory. There's nothing to even, like, the only thing to be bullish at this point is if we were to go right back and retest 59 and get back over there and then start building some traction from there. At this point, this is clearly a downtrend. Like, why am I trading this? I go long here. I go long. I'm looking for the reversal on this, 5 point candle. I'm looking for the big long Jenny long reversal, and I go long at 35, get stopped out at 31. Like, what are we doing? And this one went green too. This one went back to 43. That would have been a 8 point trade or whatever, and that's fucking $500 plus. Like that's already a good bit. Why am I not securing another 25% off my realized losses? Couldn't tell you. And obviously, I was full tilt after the first trade, but I'm absolutely tilted here because and here's a big indicator, right? If you watch any of my videos or even any of like kind of my trade analysis, my breakdown or thoughts on trades in general, I'm almost always looking for longs. I'm not a bear. I'm not a guy who goes short often. That's never been my thing. I think it's a mental thing. I'm not a shorter. If I don't see a long or if I don't see a trade that's gonna go in the long bias or whatever, I'm not gonna take it. Uh, I think it's because I told myself that fundamentally the stock market always goes up because that's it's designed to or whatever. So I'm just gonna stay with the trend because that's gonna be a majority. So that's what I do. I don't go short very often, if at all. Matter of fact, if I open my chart, my performance stats, it will tell me my trade bias is like 150 green trades to like less than 10 shorts. And this is one of the shorts because I'm tilted here and I'm accepting. There's some acceptance. There's like, okay, I know that this day is clearly bad, so I'm going to go short. Um, which just as easily could have been shorting the bottom because, there was kind of a little path getting built here. Not much, but kind of. But I go short and this was a really good trade. This trade right here, I absolutely needed. um, 31 point trade or some change or no, sorry, 25 points, 26 points. Um, that's or I even fucking I it could have been better. It would have been almost 40 point trade if I didn't let a chunk of my gains get eaten right here. Which obviously hindsight's 2020, but if you're down 2,500 plus on the day, letting 500 $600 in unrealized gains get ate up or however much this would have been, like that's stupid. That just doesn't make sense. Um, and I mean, even with that though, it's still a good trade. Like it helped my realized losses. I think it cut it in 2/3. So like, okay, now I'm only like, I'd have to look at the video. I'm not 100% sure, but I know I was down to like a grand realized loss here or whatever. Um, and, this was a big trade. Why did I not savor this win? Couldn't tell you. Why did I not lock out after this win, or at least lock out to like New York or something? Or even just realizing, okay, I'm down 1K on the day. Realistically, you would lock out. That's a red day. You accept that red day. Truthfully, I do know for a fact, and this is obviously my own fault. It's no person to blame or no excuse. But like when I'm recording my trades, especially the run that I've been on lately, there is a slight pressure to to win. If you're recording your sessions or you're posting your sessions for anybody, you don't want to post losers. Who the fuck wants to watch somebody lose, right? Like that's not fun. But these accounts specifically are on like a crazy, at this point they're on a really good green streak, and I don't want to lose that. And that mentality, it turns into like a zero hero mentality really quick. In the video, the fast forward might be a little too fast, but you can see me go into my risk settings. I think I was down 2 grand, and I adjusted the risk settings to, instead of liquidate, it was like do nothing. Or no, I adjusted my max loss originally. It was like 1K or almost 2K. I was at 1.7. I was like, okay, well, I can't lock out. I can't lock out. So instead of taking another trade, I go into my risk settings and I adjust my max loss from 2K to 2,500. Then I took that the trade right after, almost hit it, and then I was like, all right, fuck this. And then I turned off my daily loss limit. There is zero scenarios where it would ever make sense to turn off your daily loss limit, especially if your daily loss limit is already set to 2 grand, which 2 grand of these accounts is you know That's a lot. That's a lot for accounts that are at 6,100 or 6,200 balance. You know, I'm risking what? I'm fucking terrible at math like that. Like 30%? Like that's okay, maybe that wasn't 30. That was really bad math. But you get what I'm saying. Like that's a lot. That's a lot to risk. And that's a lot to risk when you're sitting here slinging four minis. Um, but anyways, kind of continuing. Got cooked there, or I cooked there, re-entered immediately, and fuck, dude, this is such a mess. Like, there's no reason that I should be taking all these trades. Like, what is happening? Um, I gotta fucking like, what even is this? Okay, I'm taking. This is just too much to look at, and they're all the same. Like, there's not a lot here. I know I didn't win much here. I can tell you that much. Looks like some of my things are looking doubled for some reason. Is it always doing that? Maybe I'm tripping. Um, when did I go short here? Yeah, so I go short here again. Get cooked. That was another five, 6, 7 point loss there. Uh, oh, so I went short here. That was an 8 point loss. Another $500. Went short here. That was another, 7, 8 point loss. That's another, 500, $600. So I made, it was like 2 grand or something like that here. I've already lost half of it right there. Less than, so this was at, this would have been 626. Less than 30 minutes, I already lost half of this, of those gains. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's so silly and stupid. I don't even have words for that. Um, and then it just kept going. It just kept going. I just kept trading. Just keep revenge trading. Going short here. Every time I went short, it was a fucking bottom indicator. Go short here. Hold it, hold it. I'm green. Like these were green trades briefly. Not by a whole lot, but like 5 points, that's still a few $100. If you're down, you need those. You take those. Right here. I do it again. Like I was short at 95. So like what? I fucking went short at literally the bottom of this wick. Immediately. Immediately wicked up, cooked out. Um and then I just what? I I keep going short. Or no. Did I finally get stopped out here? Maybe this was the end of session. But yeah, dude, like what the fuck is this? I think I took a long here. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, no, I misread. I took a long here. And then yeah, cooked. And the funny part is if I wasn't in four minis, if I was in, one mini on all of these trades, I probably wouldn't have been down even a fraction as much. But most importantly, if I was in a single mini um, in this trade, I mean, no, I wouldn't have held it all the way to the end, but I would have had more drawdown that I could have got this bottom. I was, less than fucking 30 points from the bottom of the whole session. And then this session proceeded to do nothing but go fucking up. So if I were to get that bottom, I would have been fucking groovy. I would have hit my TP. I would have hit ATP somewhere up here that would have brought me down. It would have gave me a win for the day. Um, but that opportunity doesn't present itself when you size up like an ape and then you get absolutely devoured within the first, you know, hour first like 2-3 hours of the session. Like if I had taken a loss here with one mini, just held off on trading, let the trend form, I probably could have caught somewhere around here. Or even if I didn't catch any of this, or if I did and I took a loss and I waited, like that long would have presented itself and I would have got in. Because I know for a fact I would have entered this candle. The second it hit this part, that's showing like continuation, I would have entered at some point. Um, but it was like really close to this level, I think is what I was looking at. There was something else I had charted over here. Like this area was super close to like a pretty big level that I had charted. It's in the video too, I think, in the fast forward section. But like I could have caught this. I could have caught this low. That would have been 1,000% doable. And my whole session would have been saved, but doesn't happen. Greed and impulse slapping and in trades. This is where I get you. So this session was a mess, as you can tell, and this session is very very eerily similar to the next session I'm about to post, which will be after this part of the video. I don't have like ending recaps for that session, I believe. Obviously, I'm fully tilted, so I didn't record myself breaking down why the fuck I lost 7 grand in a session. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and move on to that one, and I'll kind of do a similar breakdown as well, and we can go from there. Hello again. Um, so as you saw, or maybe if you noticed, uh, the that session in particular was a lot shorter than the other one. I managed to blow up even faster. um, and because it's from over a week ago, I don't have the execution, so it'll be kind of harder to break this down. Um, but I mean, there's a lot of similarities to the other session, at least in terms of risk management, especially. But um, this session was a little interesting. It started out uh, kind of funky. I had levels charted out. We ended up opening up right in the middle of both of the levels that I wanted. So like right away, I even have them charted out. Should have just set limit buys. Simple. That's all it boils down to. I should have set limit buys on the top end. They would have hit and also went green. Should have set limit buys on the low end. Low being down here, I think the level was like somewhere around here or something like that. But my open was like a little weird. You can't really tell in the fast forward video, but when we opened, we immediately went green and then it got stuck. It got stuck. Like I tried to hit a trade and it rejected my order. And even in the timestamp, it was already 6 minutes after. No, 6 seconds. So like the market was open. I got the audible for it that said the market is open. And then I go to buy. And my order got rejected. And then I think it was at 1812. I got the second audible saying the market was open. So that was weird. I don't know what happened there, why that happened, but if you saw, I very impulsively slapped the market buy because we were getting to the top end of one of the levels I wanted. Don't know why. I don't know why I'm even a market buy guy. It's stupid. It's dumb, especially in this first candle. There's so much slippage in this first candle. If you're slapping a market buy, you're losing points immediately. Um, which is just another example of poor risk management, poor trading. Like my greed instantly overtakes, and then I do something that just doesn't make any sense. But I ended up slapping market buy and got filled at the exact top of that candle, which because this opened up so massively, um, that's a pretty large spread for an open candle. Um, I slapped to top. I think it was even with just like a single con. Uh, I think was in the video and immediately red. This trade I think was like 1.4k. So in less than 2 minutes, I'm already down. Uh, I'm already down enough that in theory, should lock out because that's a red day. What do I keep doing? I do not lock out when it's a red day. um, so instantly got cooked. That's already starting my session off so poorly. Which, like I said in the other video too, is if you're starting your sessions off and they're starting off massively red, like bro, just walk away because you are already tilted if you are red less than 2 minutes into session. And this was also on a Sunday, so these Sunday, Monday Globex sessions, they're brutal because if you start off poorly, it almost kind of sets like a vague outlook on the week. Um, or more so, if you start off your week with a massive red day, mentally you feel like you're gonna have to grind out, to make back those losses and grind out that week, which is what I ended up doing this week. I mean, I hit my max DLL. It was like the 7.8K or whatever, 7.7. And I proceeded to follow it up with 4 green days. And I had a good week, but by no means should that pressure be there. And I even raised my max profit target to slowly start clawing back at the seven, that massive number pretty quickly. Um, which then makes it harder. Then I have to have a higher total profit target and all that, all the consistency math and all that bullshit. So this was already absolutely terrible start. Um, Sadly, I don't have executions. I don't even have executions on the video because I turned them off super quick after I fucking lost. Um, but I can tell you without even looking at my executions that I just took some very bad trades because immediately I'm off red. I was looking for a long. There's a level up here. I was looking for it. I probably tried to catch one of these reversal candles in there somewhere. Um, and just kept it going with size, all that. And I probably I can literally look at the chart and probably tell you when I lost because of how much I lost. I probably longed around here. Obviously, you guys have the video. I don't care enough to go back and look and watch every single execution, but I probably went long around here because I saw this candle, this little block, a real low reversal block. Um, I always slap those, especially if I'm red. 4 minis. So then that probably went down here. Probably took another fat loss. I mean, that's a fucking, you know, 15, 20 points right there. Because of this open, it's kind of hard to see the context, but this is a massive spread. Like the low here was 542, the high was 747. These are you know 20-point candles, 30-point candles. Like, why am I slapping these with four cons? Shouldn't be. Could not tell you why the fuck I'm doing that. I genuinely feel like I do tend to get kind of tunnel vision on these massive spready days because I don't look at it as these 20-point candles because my brain is like so locked in and used to the painfully slow or the smaller Globex candles. So yeah, if I'm getting massive spready candles like these, which you will get on Sundays, because people have been waiting all weekend to trade, like that this does happen, it gets spready. I think there was some news around this too, which made it a little bit worse. We also nuked nuked the previous day. um, and so I know that I'm not focused on the spread, but I should be because I'm slapping 4 minis. You can see it in the video. I lose almost 8 grand in less than an hour because I'm trading these massive spreads, like for no reason. And the worst part is if I didn't trade these massive, these massive sides, these four cons, if I took a mini here or something like that, this session went, vertical, hundreds of points. Um, if I were to catch a mini anywhere in this range or even a micro, like this spread's big enough for a micro, and I caught it out here. I'm sure I had a level charted up some here because of where this like consolidated. Like that's a big trade. That would have been it. That would have been all I needed. Um, but because I was already down so much and because I was sizing so much, I'm never gonna get those 100-point opportunity trades because I'm already so red or I always get cooked. And for me personally, like getting those massive trades, like that's not my. It should be, but it's not my focus with my trade style. At least it hasn't been because I've always been about size and just in and out. Give me a quick 10, 12 points because if you have size and it hits and it works, that's all you need. Like your day can be done in less than 5, 10 minutes. Whereas if you're slinging a mini or you're slinging micros, you're sometimes managing those trades for extended periods, or you sometimes get stopped out and you're going to have to replace them, whatever. I think some of the things that I do in this session and the previous one, it breaks down to rushing, greed, um, impatience, and just throwing even the most basic fundamentals just right out the window because I see red, or I get so tunnel vision, I get so tilted that I just toss it all out. Um, and just like in the other video, I did the exact same thing. I went into my risk settings. I unlocked myself to lose more and more on the day, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And it's always funny because on days like that where I get tunnel vision, I get cooked out, it always happens to be the easiest fucking trend days ever. Like this would have been so easy to catch in a mini or micro or whatever. It would have been so easy to even fucking ride all the way to through the night because it never would have hit a stop. It would have hit a take profit before it would have hit a stop. That's for sure. because I usually find my entries around here, pre-Asia, pre-London, and that literally those were the lows for the session, um, at least until open. Then we fucking absolutely shit the bed, but we literally almost went back to 25K in this session, despite opening it. Uh, Despite opening it, in the 500s, like a fucking 400 point Globex range. That's insane. And I'm missing that because of rushing and greed and just stupid little things in the first hour. Um, it's just silly. It's just silly. Uh, you know, I wanted to just delete these videos because I just wanted it out of my brain. Because as you trade them, and I'm sure everybody knows this, but as you trade them, when you tilt mid session, you're tilting, but you can know all you want. It doesn't change the facts that you know if you're tilting and you don't have immediate action to remedy it, provide aid to that issue, then it's only going to get worse. And 95% of the time, the best thing to do when you're tilted is to completely remove yourself out of the trading environment and then come back refreshed in hours. Like that that's like the simplest easy way, and you can do it as soon as you catch yourself, and you will save yourself way more than you will not. And that's all these videos really kind of break down. It's examples of trader psychology and just silly mistakes. You know, these massive days, these massive mistake days, like I'm over here, I'm winning every single day for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I'm setting myself back like a 2K day right here, right? That's setting me back 2.5 days. 2K, that's not bad, actually. I mean, it's pretty bad. That's definitely higher than it should be, especially because the account balances at this point are not nearly as high as they are now. Um, but a 7K day, a 7.5, 7.3, that's setting you back a week plus. That is setting you back, a week and a half. You have to bust out another 8 days or so to grind all that back. Um, and that's too much. And accounts that have consistency, uh, that fucking kills you. uh, it's such a climb back. It's such a climb. And right here, I was climbing. I was back on the climb. Like I would have been able to get fucking paid this week. Um, but it was stupid. It was a dumb. And I mean, everything that happened on this session, terrible, right? It was all bad. But combine that with all the extra drama after the fact, like the mental aspect at this point is just so down in the gutter. The outages the next day, all the drama, all the what ifs, all the is this getting saved? Is this not getting whatever? Like that's a lot. That's a lot. So pretty much this whole week I've kind of stepped back. I've tried to kind of reevaluate, kind of break down what I'm thinking mentally and approaching it different. And honestly, I'm surprised I did decent Tuesday. I think the trades on Tuesday were more or less clean. I think I took a small loss or two before I took a win, and I sized down too. Moving forward, especially after I get out of this payout cycle, I'm sizing down. There's no reason, especially because these accounts have a 10K buffer. There's no reason for me to chase these 1K days. I don't need them. With my account size, my profit targets for these things, it's only 2,500 across 8 trading days. I can have max of 500 days and then minimum 320 days. That is significantly simpler and easier to break down and think about than 1K a day every single day. Um, and doing it with one mini, like getting 300, $500 with a single mini, that's doable. That's not unrealistic. And obviously, to a lot of people, that's gonna sound like, oh, duh, size down. But sometimes, sometimes you have to tell yourself. Sometimes you also have to learn the hard way. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way twice. Um, and kind of that's the plan, moving forward. Um, I'm gonna be sizing down. I got blessed by my prop firm this week, and I will absolutely be listening to that blessing, and completely reapproaching kind of my trade style to an extent. So maybe it won't be as exciting to watch, quick little 1 grand videos, all that jazz, but um, I'd rather go for the long run. I really want to take these accounts to live, and I think I am more than capable of doing that. And I'm going to, so I have to downsize. Simple as that. Other than that, I don't I don't think I had really too much to add onto this video. I know this video is going to be ridiculously long, and there's a massive chance most people won't even watch it, and that's fine with me. But I'd rather put something like this out there for transparency's sake than not at all, because I feel like it's extremely disingenuous to only post winners and act like you don't lose. And I've been trading for 7 months. Or no, 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 sorry, not 7 months. I've been trading for almost 9 months, and I've lost a lot. So losing on these accounts, like, it's not like it's my first loss ever. So there's no reason to not, be transparent about that. If I have red days moving forward, I'm probably gonna post the red day sessions, just because I'm sure there's some people out there that love to watch people lose. So maybe that will be a draw in. That'll be some appeal. But yeah, other than that, I think that kind of wraps up the video for today. If you made it all the way to the end, big ups to you, honestly. I don't know if I would watch an hour plus video of somebody being a fucking idiot, but if you did, thank you. Leave a like, subscribe, whatever. Um, Lucid's got a massive sale going on right now. There's a lot of stuff happening this week. Big sale going on. Use my code general. Check out. Would appreciate it. And there's some links in the description as well. Link to my Discord and my referral link. I appreciate whomever taking the time to listen and watch and listen to me ramble. And I hope you have a good night. And I wish you luck on tonight's session and the rest of the week. I guess we still have Friday. Oh, yeah, I forgot to record today's session. I didn't do too bad. I'm not going to break down all the trades. I don't really feel, not feeling it right now, but I will have tomorrow's video. I will be recording tomorrow. But anyways, have a good night, and I salute you, soldiers. Farewell.